Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It's time for another round of League One predictions, and after an amazing week for my beloved Oxford United, I am full of all the energy in the world to get on with this. It's a crazy season. It's getting crazier by the week. We've got a full round of fixtures. Let's dive straight into this. It's Wigan Athletic versus Crewe Alexandra. No, you want me to start with Crewe. I know that, Oxford United fans, but we are starting with Wigan. They're just outside the drop zone. What an amazing week they've had. Absolutely smashing victory over Doncaster, and smashing as in they smashed them, just like everybody is doing to poor old Donny at the moment. But they backed that up with probably the most impressive result of the whole month, season, whatever, with a 2-1 win over an informed Sunderland side. It's just what they needed. It's hitting form at the right time. They're only just got their noses above the drop zone. Can they keep it there? But they are coming up against Crewe, who haven't had the best of weeks. Let's start with what they did right. They put to bed that disastrous result against Oxford by drawing 0-0 with Pompey. A very creditable 0-0 draw in that one to get back to a clean sheet after what happened to them last Saturday. My word, Oxford just absolutely rained in the goals against Crewe. A pretty even game until Oxford got the first one, and then Crewe fell to pieces, particularly defensively. And unlike us, we rammed in the goals. I don't think it's probably a fair reflection of what Crewe have done this season, but nonetheless, an amazing result to Oxford. We'll get to more of what they did later on in the video. In this game, I think you have to fancy Wigan, really, don't you? I'm going to be fancying Wigan in this one. Two great results. You have to back them to get a third. What that would do to their relegation fears is almost put them to bed, you would think. But I'm going to go for a win for the Latics. 2-1 to Wigan. AFC Wimbledon versus the Unnamed Football Club. Oh, they are the gift that keeps on giving, aren't they? Our beloved chaps from down the road. Yes, those who shall not be named continue to flounder in this league, continue to put in poor performances. They lost at the weekend, probably not surprisingly. I think they lost to Peterborough, but they lost to Rochdale. 2-1, Swindon fans must be pulling your hair out. But you come up against Wimbledon, it's another chance for a 6-pointer. But it's not just any Wimbledon side. You're coming up against a Wimbledon side that, just like Wigan, have had two sensational results back to back. They've been putting teams to the sword. Hammered Accrington Stanley away 5-1, and then back that up with an impressive 3-0 win over Ipswich. There's only going to be one winner in this one, folks, and it ain't going to be those ones who call themselves Swindon Town. I know, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it. It's going to be another resounding win for Wimbledon. It's going to be Wimbledon 3, Unnamed Football Club 1. Peterborough United versus Northampton Town. Well, what can you say? This one looks cut and dry, doesn't it? Peterborough absolutely flying high. The results went their way as well in the midweek round. They're currently second, 3 points behind Hull, I believe, with a game in hand. Northampton, although they got a 1-1 draw against Bristol Rovers, it's a result that didn't really help them too much. And coming up against this one, it's going to be a bit of a hiding to nothing for the Cobblers. Dust yourselves down and go again. Northampton, it's not over yet, but this one's going to be a win for those Peterborough side that are looking in fine form, and back the Posh to get a load of goals as well. Let's go for Posh 4, Northampton 0. Shrewsbury Town versus Doncaster Rovers. Let's talk about the bad and good where it comes to Shrewsbury. Bad. You played Oxford United at the wrong time, and you played us for the first time in the season where we actually looked like sticking the ball in the back of the net with regularity, and you came unstuck. Again, you had your chances, but for once, we were the ones that took them, and you ended up on the wrong side of a bad defeat against the Yellows. But we'll get to that later on. By the way, Chapman, what a player. Looks great. But you're coming up against the whipping boys of the league in Doncaster. They cannot do anything right. Everybody you put in front of them seems to absolutely annihilate them these days. It is all going wrong. As I said before, Doncaster fans, I hope you're not watching this. I hope you're in firm, full hibernation and just get ready for maybe watch the Euros and then come back next season, because this season ain't going to get any better for you. And Shrewsbury are going to beat you in this one. Shrewsbury 2, Donny 1. Hull City versus Fleetwood Town. Who can stop Hull on their march to glory? Will it be Fleetwood? Not too sure. Hull are starting to get the goals now to back up their play. Very impressive 3-0 win they had at the weekend. The Fleet are somewhat back to their best. They're a bloody hard side to beat now. Simon Grayson's doing a really good job there, as you would expect it. Kind of a back to basics approach from him, and you're seeing certainly much more of the old Fleetwood, much to most sides' disappointment, because when they're the old Fleetwood, they're a bloody good side and they're hard to beat. But I do see Hull being too good for them on this occasion. I don't see it being a lot of goals. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for the Tigers. Rochdale versus Accrington, Stanley. I am very sorry, Accrington fans, but there is one thing that happens when sides beat Oxford United. We curse them with the black spot and you go on a bit of a bad run. It seems to happen to everybody. We'll get to another side it happened to recently. Spoilers, it's Sunderland. But it did happen to you. You got absolutely destroyed by Wimbledon. Where did that result come from, losing 5-1? You did back it up with a 0-0 draw, but it's not the point you needed if you wanted to get back into that playoff berth. But you come up against Rochdale side who need every point they can get, and probably points are not going to do it for them. Although they did beat the side that shall not be named 2-0. Well done to the Dale for that one, but it does just look like a matter of time before Dale are going to be relegated out of the league. I expect Accrington to bounce back, but I don't think they'll bounce back with a win. I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Bristol Rovers versus Lincoln City. Charlie, my friend and Bristol Rovers fan from One Rovers Vlogs, as I say every week, your YouTube channel may be absolutely killing us in terms of views and subscribers, but your football club continues to put you through the ringer each and every game. A disappointing 1-1 draw with Northampton. I know you think it's all doom and gloom, and unfortunately you do seem to be meeting a Lincoln City side that have got themselves back into form. Maybe the rest did them all the world of good, because they won 4-0 in midweek against MK Dons. A real shock of a result, really, and a real jolt in the arm for a season that looked like it was slowly falling apart for Lincoln City. As I said, they've got a lot of games to catch up, but maybe that rest they just had maybe came at the right time to clear their heads a little bit. And it's going to be a tough afternoon, I'm afraid. I really want to back Bristol Rovers because I want them to stay up, Charlie, but I think that Lincoln are going to beat you here. I think that it's going to be Bristol Rovers 1, Lincoln City 2, and please tell me, what improvements has Joey Barton made to that Bristol Rovers side? From what I can see, he's made none. Okay guys, probably a little bit later than I planned, but I'm just going to take a little bit break before we kick on with the rest of these predictions. And I just want to say, if you like this video, please give it a like. It helps us out more than you'll ever believe on YouTube. And if you like the content on the channel and you haven't subscribed, think about hitting that subscribe button and hit the notify bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. But there is more. If you do like the channel and you want to go that extra mile to support us, you can become a member of our Patreon. The details are on the screen. It's down in the description below. It starts from as little as £3 a month. Even that £3 makes a massive difference to the running of this channel, and we really do appreciate it. But if you don't want to back us financially, just hitting that like button or watching any minute of any video is greatly appreciated. I just want to say thanks to all of you that do watch, and we're going to jump straight back into predictions now with Burton Albion versus Plymouth Argyle. Green Army! So probably the first game we've got to where both sides don't really have anything to play for anymore. I'd say Burton are pretty much safe. I'd say Plymouth aren't really going to make the playoffs, so it's going to be one of the first games that we come to. It seems a little bit of a dead rubber. You can't undermine the job that Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank has done. I'm just torn on which way to go, which is why I did that stupid face a few seconds ago. But I think I'm going to be backing Burton in this one. I hate backing against Plymouth because I really like them to do well. But I just think Burton will just nick it. I'm going to go for 2-1 to the Brewers. Charlton Athletic versus Ipswich Town. Usually I say it's one step forward, one step back for Ipswich, but this week they've taken 4 or 5 steps back. What the effing hell happened to you this week? Getting a 0-0 draw against MK Dons was bad enough. Back that up by losing 3-0 to AFC Wimbledon. Obviously you're not out of any promotion picture because it only takes, as you will find when I talk about Oxford, it only takes a couple of wins to rejuvenate the whole season at this point. But that is a bad week for Ipswich Town. They're coming up against probably the side they don't want to play against in Charlton, who did the impossible. They beat Sunderland away from home. What a great result for them, and they're in fine form. The shifting landscape in League One, week on week, they look like the side now that's going to power on towards the end of the season, and other sides that you thought were going to have no trouble at all maybe start to fade. But Charlton looking good, Nick, and I do think this one will be extremely tight because Ipswich's defence is very tight unless they play FC Wimbledon, apparently. But I think the Addicts will win it. I think it will be Ipswich 0. Charlton 1, which is a bad result for me. And again, Ipswich not scoring a goal. Milton Keynes Dons versus Portsmouth. Pompey. What the hell is going on? Again, another one of these sides where I just have to say, what the hell is going on? You were in such good form. Everything looked great. You had the beloved Cowley brothers in charge there. You looked like you were winning games for fun, like you should be at this level, and then you go and have a week like you've had, which just throws everything back into jeopardy again. Losing at home 2-1 to Burton was bad enough, which was a terrible result, and then Cowley said we need to go out and we need to score goals and we need to get the job done, and you draw 0-0 with Crewe. This is a Crewe side that Oxford put 6 past, and you couldn't put any past them. What is going League One about? It is just the craziest league ever. I just cannot predict anything. I don't know why I do it. Why do I do it? Why do I do it? I should refrain from looking into this one. I'm going to back Pompey because I have no real good reason why. It's just MK Dons, again, they're one of those sides that are just going, they're not really playing for anything now, are they? They're producing the odd good result, but they got an absolute tonking by Lincoln. Are they on the beach? Terrible expression, isn't it? But maybe. And maybe Pompey can get back to winning ways in this one. You'd expect them to, wouldn't you? But who knows? Milton Keynes Dons 0, Portsmouth 2. Blackpool versus Sunderland. Whew. Take a breath. Take a breath. This is going to be a huge game. This is massive. This is massive for both clubs. Both clubs have not had a great run after seemingly looking unstoppable. Sunderland fans, I have to just say, much like I said to Accrington fans, when you play Oxford and you beat Oxford, inexplicably, we seem to curse teams. I don't know why. I don't even know if we know that we're doing it. But every team that seems to beat us then seems to go on a bad run. And that is what's happened to you guys. You lost a tight game to Charlton. It happens, right? You know, you were due a loss. I know you said you were due a loss. But the loss to Wigan is inexcusable. That's a shocking result. And I think that pretty much does it now for you in terms of getting automatic promotion. I just can't see the others slipping up in the way you have now, especially when you've got to play tough sides like Blackpool away from home. Let's talk about Blackpool. Again, similar things to you guys. I was even thinking you were going to make a little push towards getting an automatic spot, and maybe I jinxed you. Maybe Oxford are just a jinx. I don't know. Maybe we are. But as soon as I said that, you were 2-0 up against Lincoln, and Lincoln got back into it and drew 2-2. And then you followed that up with another 0-0 draw yourself. So it's back-to-back draws that just stalled your momentum. But do not forget the fact that you are on an insane unbeaten run. And you'll go into this game against Sunderland full of confidence. And what do I think? Well, I just don't see either side losing. And when you don't see either side losing, I think it's going to be a draw. I think this is going to be Blackpool 1, Sunderland 1. An all too familiar story for the Black Cats. We've all been waiting for this, haven't we? We have. I know you have. I've been waiting for this. Let's finally talk about the main event. Oxford United versus Gillingham. Roll that clock back a week. Roll it back a week. It was all season over. I was leading that charge. Not saying that the players didn't care. I just didn't think we were consistent enough. I didn't think we were good enough to get back into the playoffs. But what did those players, what did Carl Robinson do this week? He proved us all wrong. Well, he's actually put us right back in the mix with not just 2 wins, but 2 bloody barnstorming wins. 10 goals, 10 different goal scorers. Pick the bones out of that one, Oxford fans. I am sorry I did not do a review for the Shrewsbury game. I just couldn't get it done timescale wise. I do apologise. That's going to be the same when we have the last midweek game next Tuesday as well. But I will do reviews for all the Saturday ones, so apologise if you missed it. How did we beat Crewe 6-0? I have no idea. No one saw that result coming, but it saw Oxford get the confidence back from an attacking point of view, and you saw the players playing with a lot more spring in their step. We're still starting games the first 5 or 10 minutes weirdly slowly, seemingly in both halves. But we followed that on against Shrewsbury on Tuesday night with an excellent 4-1 win. Again, the difference between Oxford getting chances and taking chances is just massive. All of a sudden you see now guys wanting the ball, playing with more purpose, playing the ball quickly. Brannigan looks like a completely different animal now, charging around the pitch. Same with Mark Sykes. The link-up play between the likes of Henry, the likes of Lee is excellent. Maddie Taylor got a goal. Ruffles and Long coming back as the fullbacks are, what do they call them? I can't remember. It's something to do with Brazil, isn't it? Put the comment down in below because I can't forget, but it's funny. But they add such a different dimension to Oxford going forward as well. Solid at the back. But I do think that we played two sides that helped us out a lot. They were very open defensively and Oxford took advantage of them. So we've got that confidence back. But Gillingham is a very different beast. They're a side that are very much more tactically aware. They're very much more defensively minded. They can certainly hurt Oxford from a set piece, as we've seen earlier on in the season, but they're also a side that's very used to playing without the ball, and they won't care if Oxford have a lot of the ball. They'll back themselves to beat us on the counter-attack. I talk about them every week, but Oliver and Graham, we know about Jordan Graham, are two superb players that have done a hell of a lot of good work for Gillingham this season. So this is not going to be a game like those other two. But I am confident. I have to be confident. But I'm not going to say we're back in the playoff picture, because I said if we get 3 wins on the bounce, then I would address that. So if we do beat Gillingham, I will address it in the review video. I think you can gather what I'm going to say. But as I can't show weakness, it's going to be tough. But I do think Oxford will overcome the Gills in this one, who themselves have had a couple of disappointing results after getting themselves right into the playoff mix. I think it's going to be Oxford United 3, Gillingham 1, but that will be an extremely close game, and it might just come down to Oxford nicking a couple at the very end. Okay, everybody, that will do it for this round of League One predictions. We'll have another round of League One predictions coming up very soon as well, because the midweek round, and I'll be doing a round of predictions for that one as well. But if you did like the video, hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well. Make sure you all hit the notify bell so you don't miss out on when I do actually put videos out, so you actually get notified of that. Thank you very, very much for watching. We do appreciate it. We'll be back very soon with more content. You already know that. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.